Hello and a very warm welcome. Today we're going to be talking about sunscreen. I know it's a pet subject of mine and I was really hoping to actually do this clip outside today, but the heavens have opened, so I don't really want to go out of there, and I'm a bit worried about the noise of the weather actually. Obviously, as you know, I'm passionate about educating you, and sunscreen is a big subject. I don't know if you remember running around naked on a beach when you were much younger, or maybe running around half naked on a beach this time last week, I don't know. But your body is your skin is the biggest organ that you actually have. And sadly, 80% of the sun damage is done before we are aged 18, which is very scary. As you've probably known from some of the other clips, we start aging from the age of 21, which seems absolutely crazy. And obviously it's an accumulative effect, so we don't necessarily know it's happening. So that's not to say that you can't have fantastic skin whatever your age, but we just need to be slightly educated on what we can do to actually maintain and to improve on some of our lifestyle choices that maybe we had nothing to do with because we're much younger, and maybe we did have because we're slightly older and we're still enjoying ourselves. So here's some quick tips on actual doing sunscreen every single day. Now, most of you probably are aware that you do need natural daylight. You need about 20 minutes of natural daylight for your body to actually make vitamin D. Particularly in this country, a lot of us are vitamin D deficient. There is a supplement that you can actually take along with vitamin A supplement that will generate the skin for you, or you've also got vitamin A creams, but a little bit about that later. The UVA rays are, if you've got to think aging rays, and they're invisible, and they're like microwave waves, so they actually go into your skin and you don't really know it's happening because they're kind of like a little secret critter that goes in. They are out literally between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. 365 days a year. So even on a day like today when it is raining, I'm sitting close to a window, but I have like thick drapes on there, so I'm not actually getting any sun damage. If that wasn't there, the UVA rays can still actually come in. They come through sunglasses, they come through car windscreens, they come through conservatory roofs if it's see-through, they come through conservatory windows, they come through absolutely everything. They do not really care. And as they enter your body, they become unstable, which is why we get a thing called cross-linking, which is when you actually start to get the skin sagging over a period of time. So because we can't necessarily feel it, we don't know it's actually happening. Whereas the UVB rays, the burning rays, I bet you know when you're burning. I certainly know when I've had too much because I start to go a little bit pink. I will tan, she says, if I really have to. I prefer to get mine out of a bottle. But that's because I've just seen so many people running around like wrinkly little handbags, and you can generally tell the people that are sun worshippers because they don't tend to have healthy, young, vibrant, fresh skin. It tends to look quite leathery, quite crocodile-y, and they keep their colour as well because unfortunately as we get over a certain age, our bodies don't actually exfoliate themselves, but that's a whole different YouTube clip that will be coming. Okay, so no matter what your colour or your skin tone, so obviously I'm quite pale, which means I don't have much melanin content, which makes me darker in my natural skin tone. If I go darker because I've got a tan from the sun, it just means that I've actually burnt myself. So even those with a lot of melanin content in there, which means their skin tone is darker, you're still going to burn, and I'm sure you have burnt in the past. You won't necessarily see it as much as you would see it on someone like myself, but you are still going to burn. So no matter how much melanin content you have in your skin, you still need to be wearing an SPF. SPF stands for Sun Protection Factor, and unfortunately in this country there is no governing body to say that we all have to stick to an SPF of a particular level, i.e. 15, like you have in Australia. Boots 5-star rating or little hand rating is Boots 5-star rating. So the reason why I always say go with minimum of a 15 is most people will go out in natural sunlight when it's warm and start to burn within about 10 minutes. Certainly you're going to pink up and you're going to feel quite hot. So generally saying most people burn within 10 minutes. So if you're burning within 10 minutes with no sunscreen on whatsoever, if you take an SPF 15, just means you can stay out in the sun 15 times 10 minutes before you either should ideally go inside or have to reapply your sunscreen. So obviously if you're using an SPF 4 that's like cooking oil and you literally are going to cook, you can obviously only stay out, or you'll have to reapply 4 times that 10 minutes. The reason why most people say an SPF 15, and myself included, is it's been clinically trialled that an SPF 15 will actually cover you in the UVA, the aging rays, and the UVB, the burning rays, 96.33% of the time. Anything higher, like an SPF 30 up to a 15, you can get 50 pluses, is going to cover you 98% of the broad spectrum, and broad spectrum means that you're covered UVA and the UVB. Obviously most of you have realised when you're using an SPF 50 that it's quite goopy. That's because the amount of chemicals in there make it more like white, and so it doesn't really go in. So most people will stick with an SPF 15. The SPF 15 will still allow your skin to get brown, but it will slowly let your skin get brown. So obviously it's a safer way of doing it. I personally tend to like to wear an SPF 30 only because I've seen the amount of sun damage I've done over the years, and I'm doing everything I possibly can to prevent it coming to the surface, which leads me on to using something that's got vitamin A and vitamin C in it. Vitamin A is absolutely destroyed every time the UVA rays are out. So basically we are destroying the vitamin A cells that we have in our body and we make naturally. So if you can use it in a cream or you can take it in a supplement, particularly in a cream, your body is regenerating that vitamin A within 4 hours of applying the cream, which is why particularly with the Environ creams you're seeing some fantastic results. Vitamin C is about getting your skin nice and clean, as in like there's no pigmentation, there's no sort of like age spots or anything. All that the pigmentation on your face or on the back of your hands or even on your arms is where the melanin content has clubbed together and it's caused damage, and your body is literally saying you've really damaged me. Vitamin C, if you think of the melanocytes that is actually causing the pigmentation, if you think of it like a train, vitamin C comes along and it cuts the train carriages in half. So it literally doesn't allow the train to actually club together, so you can't actually have any pigmentation marks. So if you're using a vitamin C booster on your face, what you're actually doing is you're fading down any of the pigmentation and you're basically breaking the links up, which is why that product in particular is brilliant. Skin vitamin C is really also very good for dilated capillaries, but more on that in the supplement talk that I'm going to do. So it's probably quite a lot of information that I've actually given to you. As I've said, sunbeds are not your friends. The filters, the UV filters on there have got absolutely no protection whatsoever. It's not natural sun. So if you can't get out in your natural sun and you want to have a little bit of colour that's safe, then you are actually looking at applying a self-tan, because the only safe tan is one out of an actual bottle, to be honest. So I hope you found it informative. It's probably been about a 10-minute clip. I do apologise. But it's something I'm really passionate about, because as I said, 40% of the UV damage that's done to us, we can actually turn back the clock. So here's to looking fresh, young and vibrant, no matter what your age, and I hope you've enjoyed the clip, and keep covered with sunscreen.